My name is Derek Giesbrecht, but it's Derek G for short. And I've been in the attractions business since 1995, actually. I started as a laser tag operator way back then at a actual reality arena in just outside of Vancouver, Canada. And I fell in love with the game. I loved it. I wanted to build my own place. I went through the whole process of what that takes as far as business planning and research and feasibility. And I realized after about a year of pounding on doors that I didn't have the economic circle at that time to make things happen. So I got involved in the indoor play business, and I worked with a variety of indoor playground manufacturers. Did a lot of great work all over the world, different projects in different countries. But my passion had always been with laser tag. And then in 2012, I worked with a competitor company and had a great string of success for many years working with them. But my passion had kind of transformed from equipment into the actual arena. And so I've done a number of different arena projects under the banner of Arena X. And it's more of a holistic approach to arena design that multi-purposes that investment, both in space and in budget, because it is expensive, as we know, to get an indoor attraction going. And that design allows owner-operators to multi-purpose that activity across all 7 days in a much broader demographic, not just kind of the traditional 18 and under sort of party demographic. And of course, everybody knows watching this that things have changed now with the gamer demographics, much more of a different audience than it was back when I first started in 1995. And I have a web business called FEC Network. I do amusement consulting for people that are trying to get started, indoor play, laser tag, under 25,000 square feet sort of thing. And I'm based out of Western Canada, and I found lasertag.net after watching them online for quite some time. And I really liked the look of the gear. I liked that it was a Wi-Fi based system. I liked that it was both indoor, outdoor, and mobile. I thought that there's a lot of opportunity between those segments, tactical and traditional vested equipment. And what I found interesting about lasertag.net is that all of that system can kind of work together in the same space. So going back to my comment about multi-purpose arena design, having multiple weapons that your guests could have and use during a game session, I found to be really intriguing. So I got a set, tried it out at home. One of the things that really impressed me is that everybody knows, or if you don't, if your guests that are over 10 years old know very quickly if your system is accurate or not. One thing that'll spoil your laser tag game is poor accuracy. So I tested the system, I ran it hard, and I tested it outdoors and indoors, and I found that it was very, very accurate. And so that kind of, with everything else I had said, turned me towards becoming a North American distributor. I think I started with you guys about a year ago. Back in November of 2022, I got my first set and tried it out, and then I think we got formal in January. So coming up to just about a year. Well, I can be perfectly honest about that. Expectations are that I would find a company that is innovative in their own right, but wants to further push the envelope of laser tag. Because I think when you look at some competing systems and competitors, a lot of people still think that it's really kind of a one-off sort of attraction. It's busy on the weekends. And I'm talking strictly indoor because that's really where my passion lies. But it's not like that. It's gone far beyond that. So working with a company that's open to just, throwing some stuff at the wall and saying, where's it going to go? How can we be there? What can we do to bring value to our operators? And how can we really innovate beyond what others are doing? And I found that was a welcomed request or interest from Lasertag NetroniCs, lasertag.net. It's different for me because I'm not an operator per se. I don't operate, so that's an interesting question. I think I would go back to my previous answer about working with a company that's just open in general to working with their customers or their dealers or their support network to do whatever we can to just push the product, to push the business forward. It's just been in the conversations that we've had with upper management and with yourself on how we can ideas that I have that I would like to be able to implement that we can discuss and kind of thrash around and get to a point where we can produce it. Well, number one would be I'm with you guys now, so that would be advantage number one. I like the gear in that, first up, I'll go back to the accuracy point because I think that's very critical for an owner-operator. Secondly, the invitation to have ideas that we can share to grow the business. I think that's very important. And the fact that it's Wi-Fi, you know, one thing that's really cool with our arena devices, Sirius and the bases, is that you can move those and place them within the game space anywhere you want. Which when you start looking at different types of gameplay to evolve the game, to keep it fresh, it's one little thing that you can do that some others can't that are a hardwired system. That's a really good question. The whole guest experience for laser tag is really from the initial briefing right through the gameplay and then back out, exiting the scoreboard, all of that stuff. So I think the first step in that is really having a committed staff on the front end that's dedicated to really nailing the briefing. So when people come in, the experience starts there. So get that done, and beyond that, once you get into the gameplay, I think having enough interactivity and enough depth in the gameplay. I mean, the whole market has changed since '95 when I first got involved. It's the average age video game player today is 35 years old, and it breaks down almost evenly between female and male gamers now. So you really have to consider that when you're building your arena. If you just want to have something, if you're in Orlando, for example, you're in a high tourist area, you're just going to run people in all the time, you don't need that. 8, 10, 12-minute games, get them in, get them out, make some money. But if you're building a standalone attraction somewhere in, you know, in Peoria, wherever you are, it's really important that you pay attention to the kind of gameplay that you can offer so you can evolve the game experience with your players, because your business is based on creating something that they want to play with. So a repeat desire is very important. And that can be done a couple of different ways. When we do our arenas, we really take a video game approach to it. Those guys work on the story first off. They work on the graphics, which relates to the story. It relates to the theming that you have, the kind of gameplay you have. There's multiple chapters with a successful franchise like Halo or pick something like that. So we really model kind of the video game because that's where the market is now. It's a completely different demographic. But I think having staffing in the arena that's there to make sure players are really experiencing the best of the equipment. I talk to operators all the time that are super frustrated with their staff in the arena because they're in there scrolling on their phones or not paying attention. If somebody has an equipment issue or if something's not working or if they're not having fun or don't know how to use the secondary weapon, you need somebody who's really key on that who can create that experience for you.